Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has hidden unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure, or admire an old one. What will we find today? Let's dig in. Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
Growing up, my mom had a nickname she strongly disliked. I won't tell you what it was because I'm sworn to secrecy. A friend of mine has a name she's embarrassed to use. Maybe you don't particularly like your name either. The thing is, we don't get to choose our names, or even our nicknames usually. We get what we get and we're stuck with it pretty much. When I read through Daniel recently, I wondered why Daniel and his friends allowed the Babylonians to change their names without making a fuss, but they put their foot down when it came to food. That just didn't make sense to me. After all, their Hebrew names identified them with their God and were beautiful reminders of who God was. Daniel meant, God is my judge. Hananiah meant, Yahweh is gracious. Mishael meant, who is like our God. Azariah meant, Yahweh is my help. Those names had been given to them by godly parents who were likely dead. It looks like they would have been more important to them than just food. Yet they put their foot down when it came to the food. Not just because it was an inward thing that affected their body, but in Jewish culture, what they ate had to do with their obedience to God. Unlike us, they were under law and had a specific diet. Babylonian meat just wasn't kosher, and they didn't want to disobey God by defiling themselves with it. Yet they accepted the name changes. Why is that? I puzzled about this for a good long while until my Sunday school teacher pointed out that our names don't define who we are. Sure, someone might be named after a godly grandmother, but that doesn't mean that that person is going to be godly. Just because someone calls us loser doesn't mean that we are losers. Just because someone calls us stupid doesn't mean we are. The 4 Hebrew boys received Babylonian names referring to Babylonian gods. Bel protects the king, companion of Aku, evoking Aku, servant of Nebo. But this renaming was an outward change that didn't really matter much. It didn't change who they were. They didn't become the companion of Aku or the servant of Nebo. They were still God's, fully His, and they knew it. And because they were fully His, they could stand up for what was right and have integrity. In fact, when we think of Daniel and his 3 friends, we think of godly men who followed the Lord and lived His way when the rest of the world around them tried their best to turn them away from God. When we stand firm on what we believe, even when we do it in love, sometimes those around us might call us some choice names. But those names don't define us. They don't change who we are. In fact, I don't care what other people call me, as long as the Lord calls me His child.
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. Also, if you'd like to share a treasure God has given you by doing an episode, please contact us. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you'll find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.